guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudia and this is gonna be another episode of my Chakra series where I create different yoga classes to balance out the energy channels in the body. So today is gonna be all about the root chakra, or in Sanskrit the Muladhara, which is the first out of the 7 energy channels in the body, and the root chakra is located at the base of the spine. The root chakra is earth-based, and when we have a balanced and open root chakra, it can help opening up all of the other chakras, since it is the base and it's located in the base of the spine. So it goes through the entire body. When the Muladhara is balanced, we can experience a feeling of stability in the body, greater self-confidence. A balanced root chakra can also help us to feel more strength in the body and to feel more energized in our bodies. A balanced root chakra can also help us to feel more energized and to feel more strength within ourselves. And it can support a feeling of groundedness, which can help us to withstand the challenges of life. Life is a roller coaster, so having stability within ourselves can help us to see challenges with a more positive mindset. So I want you to grab onto your block, and you can just come onto the feet and place the block on the mat. I'm gonna face you guys, but you can also face the top of the mat, but I want you to be able to see me. So place it here on the flat side. And now you can start to root down your sitting bones, rooting down your sacrum into the block. And you can start letting the feet come out to the sides of the block, letting the toes face the sides of your mat, and start to move the heels further together. And you can place the palms at your heart center and let the elbows slightly push the knees out to the sides. Staying soft here in the palms, and when you arrive rooting down the sacrum into the block, you can softly start to close your eyes, taking breaths all the way in through the nostrils, down into the belly. Let the shoulders be soft. Try to imagine the air flowing all the way in through the nostrils, down all the way through the spine, through all of the vertebrae, down into the sacrum. Feeling up the belly, becoming softer in the body with each exhale, letting go of the shoulders, keeping the palms gently pressed together, keeping your prana flowing down to the base of the spine. Taking slow and mindful breaths into the body and out. Focusing on that block beneath the sitting bones, maybe getting a feeling of groundedness. Creating this heaviness in the sitting bones, rooting deeper into the ground. Now you can softly start to gaze open the eyes, keeping your gaze soft in front of you, taking another deep inhale, lengthening the spine, opening up the chest, pushing into the knees with an inhale, tilting the pelvis back, and as you exhale, slightly draw down the chin into the chest and place the forehead onto the fingertips. And close the eyes. We're gonna say a few words of affirmation. Say out loud or in your head with me. I feel safe and secure. I have found my peace. I am grounded. I feel safe and secure. I have found my peace. I am grounded. I feel safe and secure. I have found my peace and I am grounded. Keeping your breath flowing in and out through the nostrils. For 2 more deep and slow mindful breaths. As as you exhale, release the forehead away from the fingertips and let the palms come all the way down. And release the feet and bend the knees. And remove the block away from the sitting bones and place it at the top of your mat. You're gonna roll onto the knees and let the feet be hip width apart and extend out the feet and start to sink down your sitting bones into the heels. Place the palms onto the knees and let the crown of the head softly flow here on top of the spine. Keeping your shoulders soft as well. Gazing here to the top of the mat for 3 full breaths. Into the belly and out. Place the palms into the mat and start walking the palms all the way to the top of the mat, letting your chest sink down into the floor, into the thighs, resting your chest on top of the thighs. Let the forehead come into the ground and relax down the shoulders. Stay soft here in the palms, extending out the fingers slightly. Staying here in your child for 5 full breaths. Feeling how the belly is rising on top of the thighs. Connecting here with the ground and your root chakra. Final breath. Letting go, lifting the chest as you exhale. Slowly coming all the way back here to center. Place back down the palms. Release away the hips from the heels. Tuck the toes. Inhale. Lift the hips as you exhale, pressing into the ground, rooting into the middle of the palms. Lift the right leg with an inhale, extending the leg all the way to the top. Exhale, curl the knee into the chest and step down the foot between the palms. And let the back foot come into a 90-degree angle and rotate the palms all the way, finding your warrior 2, pushing the right hip back and push the left hip to the top of the mat, staying soft in the shoulders, gazing between the fingers. We're going to stay here for 4 full breaths. Bending a bit deeper into the front leg, connecting the feet into the ground. 1 more breath. Place the palms at heart center, and as you exhale, start shifting the weight of the body over to the right knee and rotate the feet over to the side of the mat, over to the left side, and keep the palms here at heart center and flex the left foot. Use the right elbow to press away the right knee to open up the chest, finding that straight spine. Gazing over to the left side for 3 more breaths. Place down the palms, and as you exhale, push into the ground, extend out the right leg and come all the way over here to the middle of the mat, keeping the feet wide out to the side. Start to wrap around the ankles as you draw the belly all the way down, gazing between the legs over to the opposite side. Draw down that chest, use the palms, bend the elbows for 3 full breaths. Staying heavy in the crown of the head. Exhale, plant down the palms and move the toes out to the sides of the mat and let the heels come closer together. Release the floor and let the palms come back to heart center. Tuck the tailbone slightly under and keep the chest open by pushing the shoulder blades together. Start extending the arms out to the side in your beautiful goddess posture. Keep the hips nice and open. Spreading the knees out to the sides. And keep the knees and the feet parallel to each other for 2 more breaths. Exhale, place down the palms, extend out the legs, and rotate the chest all the way to the top of the mat, and rotate the feet to the top of the mat. Place the palms down and step back with the right foot next to the left in your downward dog. You can walk your dog, bend into one knee at a time, extend out one hip to the side at a time to get a nice stretch onto the side body. For 2 more breaths. Now try and find heaviness into the heels. You can even try to root the heels into the ground in your downward dog. For 2 more breaths here in stillness. Lift the hips high. Now lift that left leg with an inhale. Exhale, step the foot through the palms and let the right foot come into a 90-degree ankle. Release the palms as you rotate the chest all the way up. Push the right hip to the back of the mat and push the left hip all the way to the top of the mat. Beautiful soft shoulders, lightness in the fingertips, gaze here to the top of the mat. You can even try and sink a bit deeper into that left knee. We're going to stay here for 4 full breaths. Breathing into that left hip. Beautiful warrior 2. Place the palms at heart center as you exhale. Start to sink the weight of the body over that left knee and sink all the way down into the left hip. Flex the right foot so that the toes are facing the sky. Keep the palms at heart center. Use the left elbow to push away the left knee and open up the chest, gazing slightly upwards. Let's take 3 full breaths. Press into the ground, and as you exhale, extend that left leg straight away. Rotate the torso to the top of the mat. Root down the palms and take a big step back with the left foot into your downward dog. Very nice. Walking the dog, just release the tension in the hamstrings. Roll your hips forward and roll the shoulders above the wrist with an inhale, coming further down with those hips into the ground in your high plank. Exhale, lower the body halfway down, shoulders and elbows align with each other. Inhale, push into the floor, open the chest to the sky. Exhale, lift the hips high into the ceiling. Inhale, rolling forward slowly. Keep the hips low. Exhale, lower down the upper body. Inhale, press, open up. Exhale, lift. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, sinking down. Inhale, press. Exhale, lift. Very nice. Take another deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale, start to bend into the knees and slowly let the knees come into the ground and let the hips find their way down into the heels and roll yourself onto a hip. We're gonna find the middle of the mat so we can face each other. So come into the middle of the mat. Now grab a block and place it here in front of you. Grab onto the left foot with the left hand and start extending the left leg all the way over to the back of the mat, and grab onto the right foot with the right hand and extend the leg over to the top of the mat. Keep the feet nice and flexed to protect the knees so that the toes are facing the sky, and you can adjust the block here in front of you as you go, but start coming down with the forearms onto the block. And you can begin letting the chin come down to the chest, rest down the crown of the head. If you feel that you need some extra support, move the block to the tall side and rest down the forearms into the ground. And now you can use the block to rest your forehead onto, and you can come a bit deeper down even in this posture. by moving the block a bit further away from the body. It's important here that you listen to where your body is at, and you can always adjust. You can always move out of the posture and come into a child pose if it's a bit too tense. It's a very tense stretch onto the groin, but we're gonna try and breathe through, letting the prana flow in and out through the nose, shifting your focus onto the breath. Try to breathe through the tension. We're gonna stay for 10 full breaths. Getting a slight curl into the spine. Noticing this opening onto the groin, rooting down your sacrum into the ground. Feeling the earth underneath the thighs, underneath the shins, the knees, the heels. Just connecting your legs down. 4 more breaths. Lift your forehead as you exhale, releasing away from the block, and move that block out to the side. Place the palms into the mat and move the left leg all the way over to the top of the mat, and you can move the sitting bones back into the middle of the mat. Now slowly we're gonna roll ourselves all the way down onto the back. Keep those knees nice and bent, hip width apart. It's a bit windy today, so I'm sorry for the noise. Place the palms into the ground, lift the hips with an inhale. Letting that pelvis come high, high up. Start moving the shoulder blades underneath the back so that your palms can interlace and the elbows can press into the ground, supporting you. Press into the glutes, lifting the pelvis even higher up, opening the chest. Squeeze those glutes, getting an opening into the body. For 3 full breaths. Focusing on the sky, on the ceiling. Final breath. Release the palms as you exhale, sink back down, the lower back into the ground, and extend out those legs. Shift the weight of the body onto the elbows. Press into the ground and lift that upper body. Adjust here on the mat so that your whole body is still on the mat. Reach the palms up with an inhale. And exhale, hinge from the hip, release the upper body down into the thighs. Let the crown of the head come all the way down. Let the palms face the sky, curl into the spine, drawing away the shoulder blades from each other. Staying in that forward fold for 5 full breaths. Flex the feet. Let the toes face the sky. 2 more breaths. And exhale, coming all the way back to center. Move the hips a bit closer to the top of the mat and roll yourself all the way down 1 more time. This time squeeze the knees into the chest and wrap around the shins. With an inhale, draw the forehead all the way up to the knees. Take a big breath, hold that breath, and take a sip of air through the mouth. Hold the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, letting go. Extend out the legs, extend out the arms. The palms are facing the sky, and you're rooting down that lower back, back into your mats. Feeling earth beneath the spine, all the way from the crown of the head, down through the vertebrae, down into the sacrum. Extending from the groin down to the feet, elongating the body. You can roll the shoulder blades a bit underneath the back, staying soft here in the fingertips. Feeling the body fully from the toes all the way up through the crown of the head in your Shavasana, in complete calmness of the body, finding your safe space here on the mat. Coming back into the calm breath, down into the lower belly. And knowing that you can stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you need to, taking all the time that you need to connect with your body. And I am so happy that you decided to click this video and take this time for yourself. And I really hope to see you again in my next video. Bye!